Hi, I'm Dr. Andrea Libutti. Today we're talking about autism kids at school. I want to simplify schooling for you, and we can do that by looking at three key aspects of schooling. The first is, what are your children learning? How are they being taught? And who are they being taught by? Now, these three topics are really important because it has a huge impact on your child's day-to-day well-being, your child's self-esteem, and indirectly on your child's future potential and prospects. So let's talk about, what are your children learning? The very most important thing about what they're learning has to do with the grade level work that they're doing. Do you have a 14-year-old child with autism that might be nonverbal that is being taught ABCs and 2 plus 2 and simple math? Or do you have a 14-year-old child with autism that is being taught ninth grade, 8th grade, or ninth grade level work? Very important. Your child should be learning grade level work. And, there are several books out there. One of my favorites is Ito in Autism Land. It's written by a teenage boy who has nonverbal autism. And he talks about the hell that he went through with the rote memorization and the flashcards and the drilling that his very well-intentioned teachers did for him in his schooling before he learned RPM, or rapid prompting method, so he could communicate with the letterboard. And this child had a body that looked severely impaired. His body and mind did not connect. So in other words, someone would give him a command and he knew in his mind exactly how to do it, but his body would not cooperate. So he was constantly being drilled over and over with the most excruciatingly boring information and lessons until he learned to communicate. So when he was able to communicate and they discovered he was highly intelligent, he was then put in classes that were grade level or above grade level, and he excelled. So that's really important. What are they teaching your child? And is it at grade level or your child's level if that is above grade level? But don't ever let them underscore your child with very low, simple, menial educational plans. The other thing is, what are they learning? Are they learning social skills in a kind and compassionate and respectful way? Some organizations do a beautiful job at this, some not so much. I happen to love the Sunrise program. It's SON, Rise, Sunrise program. They are all about respecting and accepting the child where they are and encouraging them to want to be social and interact with us by celebrating them and accepting them and having fun with them, not forcing them to do things, to memorize social scripts or cues, or act things out in an unnatural way. One of the most important things that you can do for your child in terms of social skills is approach your child in a way that really facilitates a desire for that child to connect with you. Really important. You want your children to want to connect with you, not be forced to do it, not have some other agenda other than you want to connect with them. So that's important. Now, how are they being taught is really important because there are, public education where you're sitting at a desk and you're being talked at all day. Not going to work for a child with autism. You've got to focus on, or the teacher has to focus on, strengths and interests and build curriculum and lesson plans around that. And also take into consideration, what is the learning style of your child? There's basically, just to understand this a little better, there's 4 learning channels. There is the visual spatial learning channel. There is the auditory sequential learning channel. Those are the 2 primary ones. And by the way, the auditory sequential, probably 60% of the population are auditory learners. The other third of the population are visual learners. So auditory sequential is the way we are lectured at and taught in most of our public schools. If that's not a learning channel for your child, there's going to be issues. So really understand their learning style. The other 2 secondary learning channels are tactile, meaning, touch things, and then kinesthetic, moving around, being able to move around and touch and and move to help engage your brain. So something to think about when you are looking at your child's schooling and classroom. The important thing about how they're being taught is, like really for any child, but certainly for children with autism, are they in a dynamic, engaging, interactive, hands-on, experiential classroom? That's what is going to work the best for a child with autism. And the third point I want to make is, who is teaching your child? And I can't overemphasize how important this is, because what your teacher truly believes about your child has a huge impact on your child's well-being. Because if that teacher believes in your child's capabilities, potential, intelligence, there's going to be a very different dynamic and learning experience than if that teacher is looking at your child with autism as not very capable and just sort of, letting them sort of sit there or do very easy, meaningless tasks and problems. So one of the things that you can ask your teacher is, how well do they know your child? Do they know what your child's really good at? Do they know what your child is really interested in? Do they know your child's quirks, your child's insecurities? All of these things, the whole child should be known by the teacher or teachers that work with your child, because that setting will be very different if things are set up for your child to really expand on interests and strengths and lessen the fears or anxieties or insecurities. But one of the most important things that you can think about when you talk about your child and the teacher is, do you get a feel from the teacher that they really respect and honor and accept your child? And I think another important point is that teacher trying to make your child normal, or is that teacher trying to make your child the best that your child can be? Are they helping your child become the best version of themselves? So throw normal out, because that's just going to create a lot of frustration and anxiety, because your child's not here to be normal. Your child's here to be better than normal. Your child's here to be their amazing, glorious, different self, because their unique differences are what we need. So make sure that your teacher believes that as well. So the bottom line when you think about schooling is, the importance of these topics of, what is your child learning, how are they being taught, and who is teaching them, has such a great impact on their well-being from the day-to-day, life that they're living in school, their self-esteem, and certainly their future possibilities and prospects. So thank you for listening. AndreaLibutti.com, lots of resources over there and information to help you on your autism journey. I appreciate you being here, and I hope I can help you out. These kids are brilliant, and they deserve every opportunity for their brilliance to shine. Thank you.